Okay, so get this right. We're diving into XR learning this time.
XR.
Yeah, yeah. Extended reality thing, like virtual reality and augmented reality all rolled into one big future of education thing.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Right. And the thing that really kicked this whole deep dive off was this keynote, right? By Dan Lejerskar. He's the CEO over at EON Reality. And they're doing some seriously cool stuff with VR and AI, like actually in classrooms or virtual classrooms, I guess.
Sounds like they're really pushing the boundaries there.
Yeah, no kidding. But okay, so the International Monetary Fund, they put out this prediction that 60%,
60%.
yeah, 60% of jobs are going to be, disrupted by AI in the next few years.
Yeah, that's a big number. And that's not just about jobs going away. Right. It's more about the skills.
Mm,
Like, are we even ready for this shift? Can people learn new skills fast enough to keep up with AI?
exactly. And that's where things get, well, kind of scary if we're being honest. Because the way we're teaching and learning now with textbooks and like traditional classrooms, it's just not going to cut it.
No, not even close. It's like we're preparing students for a world that's already gone.
Totally. And get this, even the tech giants are saying this. Like Eric Schmidt used to be the CEO of Google. He talks about this too, how we need a totally new way of learning, something way more visual and hands-on and engaging.
Hands-on for sure. Imagine if instead of just reading about something in a book, you could actually experience it, right?
Yeah.
Like, what if you could learn about the human heart by actually holding a beating virtual heart in your hands?
Or like building a robot, a virtual one, but still. And okay, the best part, this isn't just some like futuristic dream. EON Reality, they're already building this stuff.
Seriously?
Seriously, Lejerskar, in his keynote, he actually showed this demo where their AI built a whole immersive learning experience. And get this, in minutes.
Okay, that's impressive.
Right. But here's the thing, it gets even crazier. EON, they've got this massive library. We're talking over 36 million 3D learning assets.
36
I
million.
know, it's wild. Like they've got detailed models of everything. You name it, they've got it. But, and this is important, they're not just hoarding all this stuff. They're working with universities, businesses, even governments to actually use it.
So they're really putting this technology into practice.
Exactly. It's like imagine you're back in school, right? But instead of cracking open a boring old textbook, you slap on some VR goggles.
And boom, you're transported inside a human cell.
Or like you're walking on the moon. You get to actually experience what you're learning, not just read about it.
Okay, I have to jump in here because this is important. It's one thing to have flashy VR, right? But is it actually effective?
Oh, absolutely. And that's what's so cool about this. Studies are actually showing that people learn way faster in these immersive environments, like up to 4 times faster.
Really? Right.
Yeah. And they remember the information better too. It's not just about being fun, although it definitely is more fun, but it's about like really understanding and retaining what you're learning.
And that's what it's all about, right? Making sure that what we're learning actually sticks.
Exactly. And getting people ready for the future, for jobs that might not even exist yet.
Absolutely. So how does it work? What's the magic behind all of this?
Okay, so buckle up because this is where it gets really wild.
Right.
EON's platform, it uses something called spatial AI.
Spatial AI. Okay, now you're just making up words.
I know, right? Sounds like something out of Star Trek.
It really does. So what is it?
So basically, it's AI, but like on another level. It's AI that can understand and interact with the world in 3D, just like we do.
Okay, I think I see where you're going with this.
Right. It's like the difference between, say, looking at a flat picture of a car engine versus being able to walk around a virtual engine, take it apart, put it back together, really get your hands dirty, virtually at least.
So it's about making these virtual experiences way more realistic and responsive.
Exactly. But here's where it gets even cooler, ready. EON's AI, it's not just creating these experiences, it's also learning from how you're learning.
Wait, what do you mean?
So like, as you're going through this virtual world, the AI is tracking your progress, figuring out what you're good at, what you're struggling with, and then it actually adjusts the experience to fit you.
Wow, so it's like having a personalized AI tutor right there with you.
Totally. Like if you're breezing through something, it'll make it more challenging. If you're stuck, it'll offer extra help or suggest a different way to learn it. It's like next level personalized learning.
That's incredible. And this is available to, well, everyone. I mean, we always talk about the digital divide, right?
Yeah.
Not everyone has access to the latest tech.
That's what I thought too. But get this, EON's platform. It isn't just for those fancy VR headsets. They've designed it to work on everyday devices like phones and tablets and laptops.
Oh, wow. So they're really trying to make this accessible to as many people as possible.
Exactly. And this is something I hear a lot, people worrying that, oh no, is this technology going to replace teachers?
Yeah, that's a big fear.
Right. But that's not the goal at all. In fact, EON sees this as a way to empower teachers, give them superpowers.
Superpowers, huh?
Think about it. Imagine being a teacher with access to this kind of tech. You could create these incredible personalized learning plans for each student.
Yeah, you could track their progress in real time, see where they're excelling, where they might need extra help.
Exactly. And then you can tailor your teaching to their individual needs. It's not about replacing teachers, it's about giving them the tools to be even more amazing.
And that's what I call a win-win.
Yeah.
And speaking of real-world applications, I'm curious, how are companies actually using this technology right now?
Okay, so one example that really blew my mind, Ethiopian Airlines. They're using EON's platform to train their pilots.
Wow, seriously?
Yeah, and we're not just talking about your run-of-the-mill flight simulator here. This is next-level stuff. They're using it to simulate, crazy emergency situations.
Or all like engine failure or something.
Exactly. Things that you could never practice in real life without, putting people in danger. But with VR, the pilots can practice these high-pressure scenarios over and over again.
In a safe and controlled environment.
Yep. They can build up their muscle memory, their confidence, all that without any risk. And I was thinking, this could be huge for all kinds of high-stakes jobs, not just pilots.
Absolutely, like surgeons, firefighters, even astronauts.
Right, but it's not just about these life or death scenarios either. Imagine learning a new language, right? But instead of just memorizing flashcards, you're dropped into a virtual marketplace in another country.
And you have to actually use the language to interact with people and navigate your way around.
Yeah. Or imagine learning to play the piano, but you can actually see the music notes floating around you as you play, or you can get instant feedback from a virtual instructor.
This is mind-blowing. It's like the possibilities are endless.
That's what I'm saying. It's not just about making education a little bit better. It's about completely changing how we think about learning and accessing information.
And what's EON's vision for the future with all of this? Where do they see this going?
Okay, so what I love about EON is that they're not just talking about the future, they're building it. Right now, they're partnering with organizations all over the world to make this technology more accessible.
That's fantastic.
Right, and they're putting their money where their mouth is, they're offering grants and everything to make sure that everyone, no matter their background, can access this kind of learning.
1 billion learners, that's their goal, right?
Yep, 1 billion. And honestly, when you think about the potential here, it's not that crazy. I mean, what if everyone had the opportunity to learn anything they wanted at their own pace in a way that was actually engaging and effective?
It would be revolutionary. You would change everything.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. We're on the edge of something huge here. And honestly, it makes you think, what would I be most excited to learn if I had access to this kind of technology?
Right. What could we achieve if the only limit was our imagination?
Exactly. And that, I think, is a question worth pondering, don't you think?
Absolutely. This is definitely something to think about.
It's remember how I was saying EON's AI can kind of figure out how you learn best?
Yeah, it's like having a personal tutor in the metaverse or something.
Right, it's paying attention to what you're doing, seeing if you're getting it or if you're stuck, and then, get this, it actually changes things up to help you learn better.
So if I'm acing something, it'll make it a bit more challenging.
Exactly, but if you're struggling, it can give you extra hints or even try explaining it a different way.
That's wild. It's like truly personalized learning, huh?
Right. And I know what you're thinking. This all sounds super high-tech and expensive, right?
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
But here's the thing, and this is important. You don't need some crazy expensive VR headset to use EON's stuff.
Really?
Seriously, they've designed it to work on, regular devices.
You mean like phones and laptops?
Yep. Phones, tablets, laptops, you name it. They're really trying to make sure everyone can access this, not just the techie elite or whatever.
I like that. So it's not just about having cool tech. It's about making sure everyone benefits.
Exactly. And, one of the biggest concerns I hear about all this is oh no, are robots going to replace teachers now?
Yeah, it's like that classic sci-fi fear, right?
Right. But EON, they're adamant that's not what they're about at all.
So what are they saying?
They actually see this as a way to help teachers, to give them superpowers.
Superpowers. Okay, now I'm really interested.
Think about it. Imagine being a teacher, right? But you've got this tech that lets you create these amazing individualized lesson plans for each student.
And you can see how they're doing in real time, like if they're understanding or if they're lost.
Exactly. You can give each student exactly what they need when they need it. It's less about replacing teachers and more about giving them the tools to be even more awesome.
Now, that's what I call a win-win. But
Mhm.
okay, let's talk real world for a sec. How are companies actually using this EON tech right now?
Oh man, get this, Ethiopian Airlines.
No way, really?
Yeah, they're using it to train their pilots.
Wow, that's high stakes.
Right. And we're not talking about those like basic flight simulators. This is next level stuff.
What do you mean?
They're using it to like simulate all kinds of crazy emergency
Oh,
scenarios.
wow, like if an engine fails or something.
Exactly. Things you could never practice in real life without, risking lives.
Makes sense. So the pilots can get experience in a safe environment.
Right. They can practice over and over, build up their instincts, their confidence. It's easy to see how this could be huge, and not just for
No,
pilots.
totally. Surgeons, firefighters, all kinds of jobs
Right.
where one wrong move is like a really big deal.
Right. But it's not just about those like life or death jobs either.
Okay, so what else?
I mean, imagine learning a new language, right? But instead of just flashcards, you're suddenly dropped into a virtual marketplace in like Italy or something.
And you have to actually use the language to get around.
Yeah, or imagine learning piano, but you can see the notes like floating in front of you as you
Yeah.
play.
Or getting instant feedback from a virtual teacher who can like see your fingers on the keys.
Exactly. It's about making learning more immersive, more engaging, more effective. We're not just talking about little improvements here, we're talking about a whole new way to learn.
It's like, what's the point of boring old textbooks when we have all this incredible tech,
Well,
right?
right. And what I love about EON In is they're not just talking about the future, they're out there actually building it
So they're putting their money where their mouth is.
big time. Partnering with schools, businesses, governments all over the place. They want to make this tech accessible to everyone, not just a select few.
And they're offering grants to make it happen, right? Like 1 billion learners or something.
A billion. Can you imagine? A world where everyone, no matter who they are or where they come from, can learn whatever they want at their own pace in a way that actually works for them.
Okay, now I'm getting chills. That's powerful stuff.
Right. It really makes you think, what would I be learning right now if I had access to this kind of tech?
What would we be capable of? I mean, really,
That's a question worth asking, don't you think?
absolutely. This is definitely something to think about.
It's easy to get caught up in all the cool tech stuff, But for me, what really hit home with this whole thing was like the urgency of it all.
Urgency, what do you mean?
Like Lejerskar, he wasn't messing around. He was basically saying the future of learning, it's not coming, it's already here.
And we got to like step up our game.
Exactly. He even said something like, we can't keep doing things the old way with the textbooks and all that and expect kids to be ready for, this whole new world.
Yeah, makes sense.
And the thing is, this EON tech, it's not some far off thing. It's already out there.
Like people are actually using it right now.
Oh, yeah, big time. They're working with schools, businesses, even governments to make it happen. Grants, new apps, you name it, they're going all in.
So they're really committed to making this happen.
For sure. And it's not just about like, oh, let's have the coolest tech. It's bigger than that. It's about like unlocking what people are capable of.
Yeah, giving everyone a chance to reach their full potential, right?
Exactly. No matter who you are, where you come from, all that stuff. It's about making sure everyone has the tools to learn and grow in this crazy 21st century world.
Powerful stuff.
Right. And it really gets you thinking, doesn't it?
Uh,
Like, imagine just for a second what you could learn if you had access to all this.
Anything, right? Whatever I wanted.
Exactly. At your own pace, in a way that actually made sense for you. What would you be capable of then?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Honestly, kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
Right. It's not just about education anymore. It's about, like, human potential. And that's pretty darn exciting, don't you think?
Absolutely. Eye-opening conversation. Makes you realize we're on the verge of something really big.
Couldn't agree more. And that wraps up our deep dive into the wild world of XR learning with EON Reality. Hope this got your brain buzzing, folks. And, hey, if you want to explore more, we've got all the links and goodies in the show notes. Until next time, keep those minds curious and stay hungry for knowledge.